As you see Adina, you'd have been dropped off on a carriage, a horse, let's say. We're coming up and we're going to meet with Mr. Worthington. You'll note we have lodgings for probably Mr. Worthington's personal servant. And his door faces to what? It faces to the west, because everything dealing with servants is to the west of this house. We're going to come in. You could stop and take a look in that room. It's actually a very nice room. Do you feel like you could tell me what was changed in the house? What's going on with the paint? Anyone know or remember?
Brightened up considerably.
And how was that found?
The pictures were dark.
Did she talk about the microscopic paint analysis that we had done? Did she show any pictures of what that looked like? The paint in this house had been stripped in the 1940s. But we were able to find, the analyst was able to find evidence for every painted surface we have, do a pigment identification. Everything painted in the house is painted the color that it was in 1807. She talked about the development of this floor cloth?
No.
She didn't talk about this floor cloth?
Is this the library?
No.
No, this is the library.
This floor cloth is developed from a painting that was found at the Ross County Museum that showed a gentleman standing on a floor cloth. And so this was reproduced from that painting. We know the Worthingtons had a floor cloth in here. You know, what it looked like is anyone's guess. Though we know that in 1837 this floor cloth existed in Chillicothe. So it was reproduced and put in here.
What is it made out of?
Floor cloth is made out of canvas, like a painting, with layers and layers and layers of a sizing until it removes all the grain from the canvas. And then it's painted like a painting. And then this, I believe, has 11 coats of like a varnish on it to develop a surface that makes it just like a linoleum, just like a kitchen floor. These floors are ubiquitous because of, they're easy to clean, easy to maintain. They cover the wood floor. A lot of people come in and they say, oh, it's bright, it's so colorful and so bright. What I like to say about the 19th century is today we get you get all your stimulus, your color and your pattern from television, right? You look at a television, it's just constantly moving, color and pattern, right? When you don't have, in the 19th century, when you don't have that, you get that stimulus from the house. So you get lots of patterned wallpapers, lots of colors, lots of bright colors, right? Just like this floor cloth. Now we're gonna experience this house different than a normal tour. We're going to go from here into the parlor. What I'd ask is, or into the drawing room. Did Sherry talk about the development of this wallpaper?
Yes, definitely.
What did she say?
It's really expensive and time consuming.
Really expensive and time consuming. She didn't use words like beautiful. Authentic.
Authentic.
Probably.
Staggering.
Maybe it was.
The one thing that always amazes me about this wallpaper, did you see the picture of the fireplace that was taken in 1901? Let's all come in further in the room, see if we can get on this side. Did she show you the picture?
Yeah.
An archaeologist came up here in 1901, took a picture of this. And when we reproduced the wallpaper, it was reproduced from that picture. What I like to think is the house is vacant between 1899 and 1902. So, even an archaeologist with the Ohio Historical Society working down the hill comes up and breaks into the house, takes a picture, and sticks it in the file that's found in the 1940s. But what that points to is between 1807 and 1902, the Worthingtons kept the same wallpaper in this room. Now that's really amazing. They change every other wallpaper in the house. Most people change wallpapers every 7 to 10 years. For 100 years, the wallpaper's in this room. What that says is that the family understood that there was something important and precious about this wallpaper. Correct? And they decorated every other room but not this one. And I think partly that's because they understood its importance to Worthington. And so I think putting the wallpaper back is a very significant achievement because it puts back something the family had preserved for all of those years. Now, if you would have come into the house to see Worthington and been invited into the drawing room, many of the gentlemen that came to see Worthington were also brought in to the dining room, what we refer to as the state dining room, for dinners. What Worthington was doing with his house was something very specific. Right? This was a tool for his ambition. He took a house that could have been anywhere in Washington, took it up, plopped this down in the middle of the Ohio frontier, and as people came through Ohio and stopped here, they would have been really impressed with his wealth, his social standing, his culture, right? And he used that as a tool really to get his political philosophies and ideas and projects, such as government contracts for 500 barrels of salt pork, from Ohio to get Ohio to interact with other people, other federal programs. We're going to walk from here into the dining room, and you can just go right through there.
Could you give us an idea of some of the notable people who would have been in this very room?
Yeah, actually, William Henry Harrison, who was president in 1841, was a general in the War of 1812, came by and stayed on the property and had dinner with 40 officers. So we think that probably occurred in the one room, though they may have been spread out. But, I mean, you're looking at dinners like that. President Monroe also visited. That would have been a little later. And Senator Pope from Kentucky, who had another house designed by Benjamin Henry Latrobe, often came through. Henry Clay's daughters interacted with the Worthingtons. I believe that's right. So it's a lot of leading figures that you hear in U.S. history from the Ohio frontier, because this would have been on their way to Washington. And this was a nice place to stop. It was a nice place to stop, but I also think everyone understood the importance of stopping here. That Worthington, whether he's a political ally or somebody that you have to deal with, stopping here allows you to make those connections. The diary entries, which some are available in in a large format in the museum, clearly indicate how often people stay. One of the things that Worthington often says is he's running really what's as a massive business. He's often gone from the property to other locations, and he'll say, returned home on the 12th, so-and-so staying at my house. The people would come by and have to wait for Worthington to return from somewhere, and then they would do whatever they did and then move on.